Breaking news coming in the last couple of minutes is being reported by Fightful's Sean Rossap that Andrade has left WWE. We've got all the details on this developing and breaking news story on Andrade's exit from World Wrestling Entertainment. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling, and the big developing breaking news at the time of recording this video is that former WWE United States Champion Andrade, who has been back with WWE since 2024, reportedly has left the company. Now, this is a developing and breaking news story, and not a huge amount of details are known at the time of recording this video, but we can give you what is being reported about the former United States Champion and NXT Champion's departure from World Wrestling Entertainment. This is what Sean Rossap of Fightful Select has reported in the last couple of minutes. He has said, and I quote, "Andrade has left WWE." Fightful was told in August that Andrade was not on the company's internal injury list. When we asked about him not being booked for a certain match, we were told, quote, "if it was possible, he would be," end quote. WrestleMobs put it on Fightful's radar that he was moved to the alumni section. They said more soon. Now, Sean Rossap has posted it on social media as well, saying Andrade is gone from WWE. Fightful Select has confirmed. WrestleMobs put it on our radar that he was moved to the alumni section and that he might be finished up. Now, as far as the conditions as to why he's gone from WWE and how this has happened, Sean Rossap says, quote, "not sure on the conditions behind Andrade's departure as of yet." He says he's working on a story regarding it. Of course, if we get any more details on the nature of his departure, why this has happened, how it's happened, of course, we'll let you know in a future video. But it is somewhat surprising considering that Andrade hasn't been back with WWE for a huge amount of time. Of course, he was with AEW from 2021 to 2023, and during his time there, it was certainly problematic. There was a feeling that he always wanted to go back to WWE, right? He had started off there pretty well, and then he was involved in backstage altercations in AEW, a legitimate one with Sammy Guevara in 2022, and there was a situation whereby it was felt that because Triple H had come into power in WWE creatively, he always wanted to go back to WWE, and effectively he was trying to sort of force his way out of All Elite Wrestling. Then late in 2022, he suffered a torn pectoral injury, and he was out for a long period of time. Now, then when AEW Collision was launched and CM Punk was effectively running that show, and a lot of the outcasted talent on the AEW roster, like him, Miro, and others, they were put on that show, and Andrade was put on that show, and he did actually have a quite legitimate good run in AEW during that time as well. He was in the Continental Classic, a participant in the inaugural Continental Classic. He finished with 9 points, failed to qualify for the semi-finals after losing a tiebreaker to Eddie Kingston, but he was featured in right up until his last match against Miro, ironically enough, who is now back with WWE as Rusev, and that ended up being Andrade's last appearance on AEW programming. His contract expired at the end of the year and was confirmed by Tony Khan in the post-show media scrum. So eventually, Andrade got what he wanted. He went back to WWE. He made his return to WWE in January of 2024 at the Royal Rumble as a surprise entrant in the men's Royal Rumble match. He was eventually eliminated by Bronson Reed. He was then placed in a storyline with Dominic Mysterio, where it was like teased that there was going to be an alliance between the two. It all turned out to be a ruse. He then competed at WrestleMania when he teamed with Rey Mysterio to defeat Dominic Mysterio and Santos Escobar. And, he was doing fine. Again, after that, didn't really do too much of substance. Largely is probably this run in WWE is going to be probably focused on a feud that he had with Carmelo Hayes on SmackDown, where they traded losses back and forth against each other. There was a best of 7 series, which was involved for a United States Championship opportunity. It ended up being a triple threat match in the end when LA Knight got involved and led to a match at Crown Jewel where LA Knight retained his title. He then appeared in the Royal Rumble match earlier earlier this year. He was eliminated by Jacob Fatu. He was the runner-up in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal before WrestleMania this year. He was eliminated by the aforementioned Carmelo Hayes, kind of signifying their rivalry. He then did compete in the Money in the Bank ladder match, failed to win that. And then he was placed in a tag team with Rey Fenix, which a lot of people thought was a bit odd considering that, he'd come into WWE seemingly to be a single star. And Rey Fenix is best known for being in a tag team with his brother, Penta. But, of course, Penta's on Raw and Rey Fenix is on SmackDown. So he was with Rey Fenix for a while. And people did mention that they liked this pairing, and they competed quite regularly on SmackDown in this tag team partnership. They defeated DIY one week. The next week they defeated Fraxium. They then won a number one contenders fatal four-way match to become the new number one contenders on the July 25th episode of SmackDown in Cleveland, Ohio. They actually defeated the current champions, the Wyatt Six, via disqualification. This then led to that big tables, ladders and chairs match that took place at SummerSlam on August 3rd. It was on SummerSlam Sunday. It was a six-pack tables, ladders and chairs match for the WWE Tag Team Championships. The Wyatt Six retained their WWE Tag Team Championships by defeating DIY, Andrade and Rey Fenix, Fraxium and the Motor City Machine Guns and the Street Profits. And that was Andrade's latest match in WWE. Andrade hasn't worked for WWE, hasn't worked a match for WWE since the beginning of August, and now we're into the sort of second week or so of September. So it's been about a month, just over a month, maybe about 5 weeks or so since the SummerSlam PLE, and we haven't seen Andrade since. And you would have thought with big AAA shows, whether it be Worlds Collide or Triple Mania, maybe Andrade would be factored into that. We did see Andrade present when the announcement was made earlier this year that WWE was purchasing AAA, but we didn't really see all that much of him being involved. And you would have thought with the likes of Rey Mysterio, and as we saw at Worlds Collide last night with also Dominic Mysterio being involved in that, El Grande Americano, the Wyatt Six, and others, Penta, you would have thought, well, Andrade, surely he's going to be factored in and he's going to be doing stuff there. And no, he just didn't. So as far as what's next for Andrade, I mean, your guess really is as good as mine. We don't really know at this period of time. All we know at the moment, all the report is saying that Andrade has gone from WWE. We do have a little bit more, regarding his circumstances surrounding this. Again, this comes courtesy of Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select. He has said, quote, Fightful was told in August that Andrade was not on the company's internal injury list. When we asked about him not being booked for a certain match, we were told, quote, if it was possible, he would be. Now, Fightful are told that the departure had been in the works, but as of now, do not know the circumstances surrounding it. He has not been backstage at SmackDown of late either. Mark of Bodyslam.net, which is WrestleMobs, put it on Fightful's radar that he was moved to the alumni section and that he could be done with the company. One WWE source indicated that the departure had been in the works for at least a week and that this did affect immediate creative plans after SummerSlam, which was his last appearance. A number of talent Fightful spoke to had no idea what was going on or that Andrade had left or was leaving the company. Now, Andrade departed AEW on less than ideal terms in December of 2023. AEW had wanted to retain Andrade and they offered him a long-term contract extension that they believe he had agreed to. However, shortly before his last match with Miro, AEW sources indicated that he informed them he wouldn't be signing the extension, which affected their creative plans moving forward. AEW sources that Fightful spoke to had no idea Andrade had departed WWE. Fightful were told, quote, no bridge is truly burned in AEW, and as long as nothing heinous is tied to the departure, a return wouldn't be impossible. So they're saying that it's not impossible he could end up back in AEW. Of course, I think they'll probably wait for more details to come out regarding his departure, as they mentioned in this report, and as long as nothing heinous is tied to it. Again, we still don't know a lot of the details surrounding this exit, but could Andrade end up back in AEW? We'll have to wait and see. Would Tony Khan want Andrade back in AEW? He's been certainly more specific and a bit more picky about which talents he has been signing that have been with WWE recently. So given the history, given the leaving or not particularly amicable terms? Is there really a need to bring Andrade back, or will they be willing to give him another go? Is this a win that AEW needs? What's your reaction to all of this? Of course, as I mentioned, if we get any more details surrounding this departure, what the next moves are for Andrade, we'll of course let you know in a future video. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.